Welcome to Coffee Talk, real stories from real people. I'm your host, Kate Coffee Bacon, and every Monday we'll sit down for honest conversations about successes, failures, and the lessons we learn from both. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's talk. Welcome back to Coffee Talk. Today, I get to sit down with two women who didn't wait for permission to build what they knew the Microsoft partner ecosystem needed. When no one handed them a map, they drew their own and invited the rest of us to walk along with them. I'm joined by the one and only Molly Fuchsel and the one and only Liz Hallen, co-founders of PartnerIn. We know them, we love them. They are very widely respected for the way they build community, not as an afterthought, but as a strategy. Together, they've created a space where partners can learn from each other, support each other, and grow together. And how beautiful is that? What I admire the most about both of them is that they did all of this by choosing courage over comfort. They followed the gaps that they saw, they trusted their instincts, and then, just like Wicked, they decided to leap. It's Wicked season, right? We can make those correlations. Grab your coffee. Today's conversation is about bold honesty, reinvention, and the magic that happens when community becomes the mission. Molly, Liz, welcome to Coffee Talk.
Thank you, Kate. Gosh, I have goosebumps. That was such a cool intro.
No, I don't know that we need to say a whole lot more. That covered pretty much everything. Thanks, Kate.
You've always both been a hero of mine, but you really, truly are. So I want to start at the heart of your story. You both left established roles to create something no one had built before. What was a moment when you realized if we don't build this, it won't exist?
Oh, I don't know that there was one moment necessarily. It just kind of became, we felt like we were very successful in what we were doing before. We had such amazing support around us. And we both had we've been connected at the hip for a long time. And just kind of decided, we kind of want to do something for us and something more for this community. And what is it that's missing? What gap is out there that we could help fill and really build true community in a different sense than we have done in the past? And that's really where that was for me, where the spark was. It's like, we just need to do it because nobody else clearly is. And we were ready for something new.
Yeah, the answer was there. We kind of knew it was always the partners. Liz and I have always gotten to work with partners in all capacities of our career for the last, 10 years for me, 10 years plus for Liz, 20 years plus for Liz. So
25 years, yes.
The answer was there, just what to do and how to best serve the partner group specifically in a greater Microsoft partner ecosystem outside of just one product line as well. That's really where we knew the answer was there. We just weren't quite sure right away what that looked like. And as we'll get to talk more in a little bit, still not 100% sure what that all looks like, but we're having a great time building it along the way.
I do want to dig into your partnership a little bit more. I want to set a little bit more groundwork before we do, because your partnership you're so perfectly matched for the things that you do in the community. And I do want to dig into that a little bit, but I wanted to give like a reason for this conversation. For me, it's because I see so many people feel a tension between stability and possibility. I cannot tell you how many times I have this conversation with people where they're like, but I am so afraid to leave what I know feels safe into this, unknown world where I just know there's something there and I have a vision for it. But man, that is such a tough leap. So based on the conversations that I've had with people, I mean, you are such great role models for that idea of leaving stability because you believe in what's possible. You represent what happens when you stop apologizing for wanting more, not just for yourself, Molly, Liz, for the whole community. You saw an opportunity. So today I want to talk about a couple of things, that big leap that you made, some of the gaps that you saw, which we've kind of already touched on a little bit, your unbelievable courage, and what community looks like when it's intentionally built and not assumed. What were the gaps that you were seeing that made you realize this isn't optional, this is needed? It sounds like you were the first one that said, put words around it. So maybe you can lead with answering this one.
Yeah, I think it was, there's a ton of resources and help and assistance out there for Microsoft partners. There just is. Now, as you know, Molly and I have been more in the dynamics space, but really just listening to Microsoft, listening and watching other companies and organizations who do the education for partners, who do certifications for partners. There's a lot of that out there, and it's all great stuff. But being someone that has been in a community type of role for the last 25 years, I thought, like, why don't partners have this? And there is some of that. I don't want to say that there's not, because there definitely is, but they seem to be very focused on one thing, one product, or one role. For example, with the direction and the strategy that Microsoft is going with the full stack, they're asking so much more of partners. There really wasn't a place for partners to go to really talk to each other. Like, for me, the value of community is learning from other people. Like, that's how we get better as people, as professionals, as team members, team leaders, is learning from other people. And it's not all about sitting in a classroom and getting certified. It's, tell me how you fell on your face and help me understand how to not fall on mine. And it's the whole helping of each other. And it really comes full circle if you give it the energy and the effort that it deserves. I've seen it 100 times, 1,000 times in the community space. And, our background has been primarily focused on the end user customers for Microsoft. And that's all great. And I see the people that grow, and partners, we just really felt like partners needed that too.
Yeah, I love that. Molly, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Just emphasize that, like Liz had said, there's great partner support and service companies out there in our ecosystem. Where Liz and I shine is bringing people together. With like our upcoming conference, Partner Vibe or Vibe, we're bringing partners together for open dialogue to learn from each other across different product lines. And I think that is truly building community one step at a time. And I'm excited because I'm so excited for this person to finally get to meet this person and bring them together, because they're struggling with their businesses, but serving different end users, right? So them coming together and learning from each other, just as one example, we are super excited about that, to be able to do that.
I think you've kind of alluded to something, and it was in my introduction. This is just from previous conversations that we've had. Building community it's strategic as well. It's not a side task. It's very intentional. You both have a very deep understanding of community, not as a singular event. You understand that these conversations continue. The event is just the beginning. It's the kickoff. Community truly is fabric. It holds the entire ecosystem together. I have said so many times, this community is unlike any other that I've ever been a part of. To you, what does community look like when it's done well to you?
Great question. I'll go first. So community, I think is such a broad term, and it's used a lot of different ways in our space, even as well, just within our ecosystem. It is not as simple as turning on and off a light switch, is what I usually like to say. It is a long building commitment with a lot of intention, just as you said. And it takes a lot of trust building. Takes a long time to gain people's trust that you know what you're doing to build a community. And it's very easy to quickly lose that trust. So having the right integrity, being transparent. Liz and I have said many times that PartnerIn is developing as we go. And it's all because we have to listen to what the partners feel like they're missing, especially in terms of building a community, and especially in terms of meeting people outside of maybe their normal products that they serve. So that's kind of what we're working on. Hopefully that answered the question if I heard it correctly. I'll let Liz add anything too.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, Kate. Community is absolutely intentional. It does exist without intention, but I don't think it's powerful in that way. When you think about the broad definition and term community, what does that really mean? I was actually going to look it up in dictionary Webster to see what it means, but if I recall correctly, it's really a group of people that have like-minded interests. They have the same goal. They want to be better together. You can apply that to Microsoft Partners. You can apply that to your local church organization. You can apply that to a local book club. Like you all have a similar shared interest and you're trying to get together and share those connections, network with those people to frankly learn from them and to build something greater than themselves and greater than what they had without others that had that same interest in that community shared.
One of the things that I've observed about the Microsoft ecosystem specifically is the openness and willingness for people to share with each other. You have partners that are competitors, you have ISVs that are competitors, but we are willing to come alongside each other and have encouraging conversations of just what you said. I fell on my face and did this. Don't do this.
Yeah.
And you're talking to somebody that's going after the same client as you. And I think honestly, that starts with people at the helm that are saying, I'm living by an example. Like I am opening up and having these conversations. I'm leading sessions about the to-dos and the what not to-dos. That is really powerful. That's feedback that I've gotten even from other ERPs. They're like, but it's not like this out in the wild.
Yeah.
It's not always like this. A follow-up question to my first one, you might have already answered this. What do organizations often misunderstand about community and community building?
Yeah, I think you actually just said a lot of it. They feel that you're getting too cozy with your competitor. And that for a very long time, I mean, Liz has to tell me the tales because I just haven't experienced this nearly as much as she used to see this. But for so long in this space, partners were so competitive. They would not share information. They would not share experiences because they wanted to gatekeep every good, bad, amazing story, not so great customer. That was all so behind closed doors, whereas now this is such a different environment. Liz and I, with a lot of intention, again, have always set the expectation that this is only an open place to be. With PartnerIn specifically, we're very, very open about this is probably not for you if you don't want to come and be vulnerable. It's probably not for you if you don't want to share. Because people they're gonna come up to you. They're gonna talk to you. Partners are an extremely outgoing group of people. They want to get to know everyone. So we're very honest with people. And I think another thing that organizations have the misconception of is that community can be a little bit of a waste of time, maybe. Kate, you would maybe be a great example of how that's not true. But that's feedback that I've received from partners is this really time well spent in investing time and hanging out with other partners, learning from other partners. So that's just a natural obstacle. Kate, I kind of say you specifically because you've had such success, I believe, with community and what it's done for you and your team and you as an individual, you all as an organization. But some people do not feel that way. So we're here to change that.
I love that. And you said something that it didn't used to be this way. What changed? What was the flip to make it what it is now?
I have a theory of why it changed because you're right. It has not always been this way. And I'm specifically speaking out of the Dynamics channel, right? That is the through partner channel between the VARs and the ISVs. They were all very guarded with their customers. And I think honestly, what changed it was the cloud. It was the way that Microsoft was licensing and asking partners to license. Before it was, you get your revenue based on the number of licenses that you sell and, the number of times that you implement the software. So at that point in time, everyone was like, I'm keeping my customers. I'm holding everything to the chest. I don't want to share because I don't want to give my trade secrets away. But the pricing model changed. The incentive model has changed. And Microsoft is now saying, you need to partner with partners if you want to be successful here. Figure it out, peeps. You need to, and if we want to grow and if we want to expand this market like Microsoft wants to do and make it this giant channel, you have to rely on partners that are in your network, that are your close relationships. And the best way to do that, in my opinion, is community, because it's just helping everybody build a better experience, a better piece of software, better business processes for the customers ultimately.
One of the biggest changes, thank you for that insight, Liz, that I feel like this can be such a fun conversation for us to have,
Yeah.
at upcoming events with, other people that have
Yes.
been in the space for a long time, for me to ask that question, what do you see as changed? One of the things that we are doing that aligns with that, with our product, is we are partnering with other ISVs to enhance our solutions. So we're pulling in some of their offerings, pushing our offerings, pushing to create a better product, a better solution for the end user. So we've taken that to heart of, band together and create something better.
Yes.
It feels like putting together a beautiful jigsaw puzzle. How can we create a product that's bigger, better, stronger for the end user? Really great insight. Thank you for that. I've heard, word on the street is that it hasn't always been what it is now. I can't
No,
imagine.
it has
But like
not.
I said, it comes from the top, right? That
Mhm.
that encouragement to build community definitely comes from the top.
I
Yeah.
will also say, I think Liz is absolutely right on what really changed that openness in the partner community, but then also just the age of constantly being together and connected through social media. I think marketing and social media in the last 8 years has absolutely changed how we communicate partners to customers, partners to general public, partner to partner. I think that has really shaped this system and this whole group of people as well.
That's a great insight. I don't want to veer from your story, but that is such a great insight, because we have video now, because we so commonly use video in our communication. It's not just phone calls. You feel more connected. Rarely do I have a phone call. My calendar is now full of Teams meetings and Zoom meetings and, Riverside recordings, where I get to connect with people. Even if I might not be in the same zip code, I still have opportunity to connect and share ideas. And I think that's really powerful. And I'm not sure how that coincided with the Microsoft shift, but definitely supported it. The fact that you can see and share ideas, even when you're not able to be together. And thank goodness we can be together. So, yeah, that great insight from both of you. You both are so dynamic in the community together. I've said you're my heroes. I look up to both of you so much. You're business partners, you're collaborators, you're friends. How do the two of you balance your styles that are so perfectly matched for each other, your strengths, your leadership energies? I mean, I could go on and on. How do you balance all of those things together to make this partnership?
Honestly, it has not, I don't feel, and maybe Molly will disagree with me, but I don't feel like it's been a challenge. I think we are both so, like, I respect Molly very highly. And I respect her opinion and value her opinion so, so much. And I also recognize that we both very much have different strengths, different weaknesses. And I feel like that's what makes the partnership great. I'm very much the analytical one that's like, hold on, what are we doing? Does this make sense? Like, I have the 5,000 questions, and Molly is the, no, let's do it. We got to do it right now. Hurry up. And we'll figure it out later. And so I think that give and take really helps us balance each other out a lot. I'm guessing, Molly, you probably have more to add.
Yeah, that I don't have a lot to add. I respect Liz so much back as well. I'm so glad to have a great partner like her. Wouldn't do this without her. I couldn't do this without her. She is a dear, dear friend. We are very, very close. And because of our working experiences in the past, that helped build our relationship today. So we're so grateful again for all of that that brought us to this point. And yeah, I think we're each other's yin and yang. I need to slow down sometimes, and Liz needs to speed up with me a little sometimes too. So it's a good collaboration of how we get work done at the end of the day, if that makes sense. Because a lot of, you know what I mean? You can have great relationships. We have great relationships with other people in this community, but would they be your best business partner? Not. You know what I mean? Yeah. And our personalities are just, as you know, they're different and they complement each other in a beautiful way. And yeah, I'm excited to keep going down this journey with Liz and use all of her skills and expertise to make PartnerIn a great place?
I have a little bit of both of you. I am a fast actor, but man, I am after 6 months of a change strategy or a new implementation of idea, I'm going to go back and look at analytics. So I have a little bit of both of you where I'm like, trust and verify. I have this idea that this thing might work, but I have a little bit of both sides. And I think it's a lot of the two of you trusting each other. Right? Because there is that push and pull. And for the two of you to just know that you've got each other's back, it's rare. Your partnership is really beautiful and it's really very cool. Okay, let's talk about the impact of what you've created, of PartnerIn. What are you most proud of so far? Let's talk about all the good things that are happening.
Yeah. Well, a couple things stick out for us. First, we did the Big Partners Survey, which you participated in, Kate. So thank you. And many others in the partner community did. So we were really, really grateful. We sent it to a lot of people we didn't know too, and said, we'd love it if you would spend a little bit of time on all of these questions. It's not a 3-question survey. You need to get cozy, get a cup of coffee. And we got so many great responses. And immediately that's where we started making new connections. And the results of that survey were so telling of the gaps that Liz and I will continue to focus on with PartnerIn. One of the big things, obviously, then is launching our first event. So again, Vibe, January 28th through 30th. Kate will be there in the front row.
Front row.
The session submission process. So again, we really took a lot of time and energy to find new speakers, to reach out to people that we've never met, to get them invested into it, to explain what Vibe is, how it's going to roll, how excited we are for it. And we had so many new faces submit sessions. In fact, we had over 3 times the session submissions we set out for as a goal. I had to keep changing the goal with Liz because we kept exceeding it, which is the best thing. So that hopefully is a good sign for Vibe as well. So we're proud of that. And now it's our responsibility, to your question about impact, to really deliver come January.
As far as other things to be proud of, yeah, those connections, I think for us, because Molly and I have had so much history and experience with just the Dynamics channel, for me, it was really expanding outside of that. And we now have this amazing, wonderful relationships with all of these people we didn't know before that are outside of Dynamics. It's security, it's agentic AI, it's modern workplace, it's all the things that we really building this community just as we had hoped it would be. And one of the people that we wanted to thank, in addition to you, Kate, for being our first sponsor and in the front row, is we learned of an organization called Partner Development Group. They believed in us and they're proud to be our top sponsor at Vibe. And so that was really cool to see, and a huge shout out to that team for really taking this leap with us and really believing in our vision, even though they have nothing to go on, which I think is phenomenal for us.
Just zooming out a little bit, we've talked about the need for partner education. We've talked about an open community that shares so much. Zooming out a little bit and looking into your future, into your crystal ball, what impact do you think that peer-to-peer learning is going to have on the future of the ecosystem of what we're creating here?
What we're building is right in alignment with the direction Microsoft is going across the stack, like Liz had mentioned before. It is about coming together and bringing more products together and rolling up more into one big group of partners. And, Kate, you guys are already taking a big piece of that by collaborating with other ISVs and coming up with the bigger, better product, right? So I think that is the direction that Microsoft is pushing the partners, and we want to be here right alongside it to say we're a place for community to make this happen, to help you, to support you, to get you in line with people who are already doing it. One thing we've always kind of learned just from somebody's psychology of it all is our company's too far behind. We're already missing the boat, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's what Liz and I are here to build, is you're not too late. We will introduce you to a Kate. We will get you right in line with everyone else, and your organization is not going to suffer. You're not going to, go out of business or anything like that. That's exactly why we're here.
But let's face it, as a partner organization, you can't be everything to everybody. I mean, and in order to serve the customers that are Microsoft customers in the best way, they should have a full stack suite. They should have every single Microsoft technology that exists, but it would be impossible for one organization to do it all. So build those relationships with others that have more expertise in this area and pull them in when you need them. And just exactly what you were doing, Kate, building those relationships and bringing a better solution, a better product ultimately for the customers. And yeah, that's going to support the Microsoft vision.
Before we close out, I'd love for each of you to share one thing you hope the listeners in the community walks away with.
Big takeaway from me is just don't be scared. If, just because you haven't tried something before doesn't mean it's not possible. If you have, just take that leap of faith. Be courageous and good things will come. You just have to put your heart and your mind and your soul into it. And if it doesn't work out, well, you tried. Try something new. Try it again. Try again.
Liz definitely took my response, but I have another one. That was like almost verbatim what I was going to say. I guess we are a little more similar. If you spend enough time with each other, you get to start finishing each other's sentences. The other thing that I was going to add to that was don't be discouraged when you take 3 steps forward and 1 step back. Liz and I have absolutely fell into that pattern, but it's a beautiful pattern because it always means we're taking 2 steps forward in the end, if that makes sense. So don't be afraid of setbacks. Don't be afraid when things don't work out like you thought they would. Just pivot, take a different direction, take a minute to think about it, brush it off, move on. Take those 2 steps forward that you still made and see those as the beautiful steps that they are.
I'm taking away a couple of big things from our conversation today. Big things. Community. We talked about so much about community. It is built on intention, not always built on what's convenient at the time. Bravery isn't always allowed, but it is very consistent. And that's what I've always seen in the two of you. You don't need all of the answers to start, just the courage to make the first step, just to move. And those are 3 big takeaways I think any person professionally, personally can apply to what they're seeing and what they're doing in their own life. Molly, Liz, thank you for showing up today with so much honesty and so much heart. We are recording the day before Thanksgiving, and I am unbelievably thankful for the two of you. Thank you for choosing the harder path when it meant creating something better for all of us to participate in. And to everyone listening, if you're standing at the edge of something new, wondering if you're ready, this conversation is your reminder that you don't need the map to take the first step. You just need the courage to begin. Until next time, keep being curious and keep your circle strong, because the people around you believe in you, are building you up, and can help push you forward. We'll see you next time.